Next thing we're going to talk about with the Hasbro Pulse Fan Fest is that of two figures, one of them being a Voyager update of a previously existing character from the Beast Wars lore, and another one that of some new information about our Titan class figure, and even some stuff that they didn't cover in the stream itself that we're going to cover right here on the podcast. Now, first up, we have Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Voyager class Rhinox. We knew about this character coming. Again, he was part of those huge amount of listing leaks that have been transpiring throughout the months. Now we have him here in front of us. And I'll be honest with you, while this isn't a figure that is going to be replacing your Thrilling 30 Generations Rhinox from 2014 that came out, 7 years ago. I do feel this will be probably a visual representation of that of the Netflix version. So while most of us who are looking for our perfect version of Rhinox, if you picked up that Thrilling 30 Generations version all those years ago, you probably already have what you need. But if you're going to probably need a representation of this character in its newest version, which will probably be on the Netflix series, this will probably be that. And I appreciate the effort they put into it, at least. When we look at the robot mode, we saw a lot of these kind of visual cues with that early art of Kingdom that was shown to us, whether it be that mural art or even that of the teaser art with Rhinox in it. We saw that wide base of the Rhino, bottom jaw on the chest of the robot mode shown in that art back then. But what's cool is, hey, we know that we're going to get the two chain guns of Doom. They could be stored on his back, so that's a nice touch. They could have easily just went with one of them or even none, and that's a nice touch at least. A different kind of interpretation of a robot mode, little different aesthetic changes here and there, but still kind of cool. When we get to the Rhino mode itself, we see kind of examples of how different the budget and engineering for modern Transformer toys are today than, let's say, easily 7 years ago during that Thrilling 30 late Aaron Archer era. The Rhino mode has a has a lot of limitations. Yeah, the mouth opens, but it kind of ends there, where at least in the case of the Generations one, it had articulation on the ears of the Rhino and all kinds of stuff. So there's a little bit more of a limitation with this version. I don't want to rag on it. It's going to be a different take of the character, and people who are not able to get this character 7 years ago in that version can now probably pick up this version. It'll be a respectable replacement. But the way that I see this will find its place in people's collections is that if it very heavily leans on this design in the Netflix version, people will buy this. That's where I find the money will move. In the same way that why do people keep buying the same Optimus Prime figures or something like that? Because it's a different iteration of the character and a different aesthetic. So if this is how Rhinox is going to look in the Netflix series, this is why people want to get it. I don't hate it. But at the same time, you look at it, it's the same price point as its brother 7 years ago with Generations, and you could really see how things have changed and how more expensive toys have become to manufacture, not to mention a whole bunch of other stuff too, different kinds of plastic, different engineers. But at the end of the day, still pretty cool. But I think that it's going to be heavily reliant on a fandom that didn't get the original, who weren't around 7 years ago, combined with people that watch the Netflix show and want that iteration of the character visually, as opposed to that of the old Mainframe Beast Wars 96, 97, 98 iteration of the character that was seen in animation. Next up we have, and this is fascinating, it's an update on that of the Transformers Arc playset, our Titan class, our last Autobot crazy looking character. Now, what I want to talk about is all the extra bells and whistles and some stuff that wasn't addressed in the stream itself that I'll address here. So first we were shown that it's going to come with some new accessories like 2 golden discs, which is really cool with all the little details on those golden discs with the sounds of the earth and that of the Vok hieroglyphs and stuff. So that's really cool that they're doing that. They showed again the little scale of the mini Optimus Prime. Mark took it out of his beard to just show you just how easily it could be stored just about anywhere because it's so tiny. And it actually, I'm going to get into a little thing that this little Optimus and all the other minifigures we're going to get in the future, how it relates to even this figure and not just in relation to the Unicron and its stand. We got a better look at the Sky Spy. We got a confirmation because they showed us the box art. They gave us first a confirmation. He said on the box art, there's a little Easter egg of future product on it. Of course, I don't know if that was teasing at the wing finger that he was going to show us later, or that we will be getting a pterosaur later because there is pterodactyls in the background, 3 of them. Maybe one is wing finger, one is pterosaur, one is fractal, or one is Hydra, or one is Laserbeak, one of the many repaints of that character, if you will. So that's one possibility too. Next up, the back of the box, this is where things get really interesting, is it confirms that the Teletran 1 combining robot, or not combining, transforming robot of the legendary computer for the Ark is going to be called Mainframe. That is a trademark they are going to go with, and they're going to call it Mainframe. Does that confirm that we probably won't get a repaint of this deluxe scaled figure? We don't know. Maybe we'll get something in the future and it'll be a different kind of Mainframe. They'll call it, I don't know, Action Mainframe or Action Master Mainframe in its traditional colors. But right now we know that they're going to call this one Mainframe, and that is that for the robot mode of Teletran 1. What they didn't cover, which was fascinating here, is Teletran 1, while it has its computer mode, while it has its robot mode called Mainframe, it actually has an in-between mode that is the actual, like, I guess we'll call it the cockpit or the main hub of the Ark itself in minifig scale form. And it is that of, you see the Optimus Prime, and then you see what he refers to as the navigation globe centerpiece and all the crazy stuff around that. And it's very hard to see it in the stream, but I'm going to try to get a nice image and post it here at the bottom of the segment. I'm going to have to stretch it out as much as I can, but you could put your mini Optimus Prime figure in this little area that is the cockpit with all the little screens and the little globe and stuff. And it probably is going to work with all your other minifigs that you will be getting later on, probably at different points. These are little mini slug figures. They could throw it in across a whole slew of Transformer product, and you could build up this little collection that'll could populate the inside of this little playset here. I really dig what's going on here. That's really, really cool. I'm just surprised they didn't want to talk about it in the stream, even though I saw it right here on the back of the box. They also talked about the spring-loaded platform hatch at the back of the Ark. We kind of already knew about that. We just didn't know that it was spring-loaded, so that's pretty cool. But otherwise, a lot of cool information here. I hope we're going to learn more about the Ark. It seems like there's still a lot more stuff to talk about because there's still a lot of mysteries to this. And it's very fascinating. It really is. It's very exciting. Let me know what you think about this, especially with the Rhinox. I'm curious how many people already have the Generations one, if they're interested, if they want to pick up this new one, or if it's really going to be decided on how his appearance is in the show and stuff, because sometimes people, they always have this pursuit to have the best version of the character, and once they get that, anything that comes afterwards really is not of an interest to them. So let me know what you think. We still got way more to talk about today. Stay tuned with me. More to come.